Hello YouTube and welcome to a horror movie review, and I'll be having a look at the movie House Hunting, also known as The Wrong House. And this is a 2013 movie starring Marc, who you may know from V or Beastmaster and Art Lafleur. Now, this is quite an interesting sort of ghost story, but a little bit of a difference to kind of what you would normally see, especially in these kind of lower budget sort of horror movies. And basically what we've got two families that are basically on the market for trying to look at a new house, and they both end up in this kind of property which is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. This kind of open house. They kind of go there to sort of view it and what have you. And it turns out this house has got this kind of supernatural, paranormal activity in it. And what you actually find is they can't leave. So if they try and drive away, they end up just kind of literally coming back to the same house. And regardless of however they try and get away, they just end up back at the same property. And they sort of end up having to kind of live in this house with sort of these two families. They sort of come across this kind of mysterious girl who just seems to be in the property at the same time, who has a sort of tongue cut out. And they can't understand what's happening. They end up, obviously going there, hanging out there for a long time. Things start to happen, strange sort of apparitions. There always seems to be sort of cans of food being stocked up in the cupboards, things like that. And there's kind of forces that are sort of manipulating the inhabitants of the house for sort of nefarious reasons. Now, I can't really go into sort of too much more detail other than that. Otherwise, I'll kind of spoil the whole film for you. Suffice to say, it's kind of an original idea, and I actually quite liked it. It's kind of a, I guess there was a film called Haunter, which was kind of quite similar, and you kind of may compare it to something along the lines of sort of almost a kind of like Twilight Zone sort of style episode, that kind of stuff. But it's, I quite enjoyed it. Now, the acting, I didn't think it was too bad. Obviously, I'm quite a big fan of Marc. He's okay. They're not the greatest actors ever, let's be honest, but I think they did a passable job here. There's not much in the way of special effects, but there is a few sort of scenes where you have kind of a couple of quick sort of horror shots here and there. They do use them. I think they're quite effective. I guess there's a couple of things that are kind of maybe a bit of a negative side. There's a few plot holes in this. Now, I can't really sort of tell you about them again without sort of spoiling the whole point of the plot. The mute girl, for example, is unable to communicate with her because her tongue's cut out, but there's other ways of communication. And there's a few other things as well. Character motivations as well, I think sometimes are a little bit foggy, and people sort of change their kind of their personalities a little bit too drastically, in my opinion. Okay, these people have been in this house, we're told, for a long time, and you understand they're going to get a little bit of cabin fever. But there's certain aspects where they just seem to sort of just change the kind of their whole personality very quickly, which I wasn't a huge fan of. And it's got one of these endings that's going to kind of infuriate some people, and other people are going to think are very clever. So that's going to be a matter of taste. But to be fair, I actually thought this was a pretty decent movie. It starts off really quick as well. It kind of does. It's not one of these films that kind of you're hanging on for ages, kind of to sort of really getting the gist of it. It really pretty much starts get going very early on. It does, but because of that, I would say it maybe does lag a little bit sort of in the middle of the movie because it sort of gets in the kind of the crux of things so early. And obviously, pretty much the whole movie is them sort of stuck in this house and trying to figure out what's going on. So maybe it does drag a little bit, and you don't really sort of hear them talk too much about the kind of the obvious kind of paranormal situation that they're in, which we would imagine they would do that and that stuff. Like, for example, these cans that are mysteriously just appearing every day. No one really seems to question it all that much and stuff like that. So a few little nitpicks here and there, but overall, like I said, I think it was kind of an original take on the ghost story. It was relatively well acted. I have no sort of problem with the kind of the location, the kind of sets, the effects that they used. I thought were all very effective. With a couple of ghostly sort of scenes that are almost played in sort of semi-flashback. One involving a truck, which I thought was very well done, and kind of pretty much my favourite scene of the movie. Overall, I really enjoyed this film.